Thursday, April 19, 2018. April 19, 2018, 7:43 a.m. The Supreme Court of Canada issued its ruling this morning in a case challenging restrictions on interprovincial trade and declined to remove barriers to allow winery direct shipping to customers across Canada. In a case that was specific to beer, the court said provinces have the right to restrict trade for a number of reasons. Miles Prodan, president. We find it ironic that we are one of the only wine-producing countries in the world where we can't sell wine directly to our countrymen. The British Columbia Wine Institute expressed its disappointment in a news release, saying, "The British Columbia Wine Institute and its members today expressed disappointment with the Supreme Court of Canada's ruling on Her Majesty the Queen v. Gerard Cameau. The case challenged restrictions on interprovincial trade, an issue the BCWI and the Canadian Vintners Association (CVA) has been working on for over a decade." This morning at 9:45 a.m. the Supreme Court of Canada has ruled on Her Majesty the Queen v. Gerard Cameau. The ruling states the following: Section 121 does not impose absolute free trade across Canada. The court's ruling today is disappointing for the BC wine industry, said Miles Prodan, president. We will continue our work both directly and through the CVA with the federal, provincial, territorial governments, alcoholic beverages working groups, industry, governments and the provinces to remove the barriers and allow winery direct shipping to customers across Canada. We respect the court's ruling but are disappointed at this missed opportunity to remove interprovincial trade restrictions, said Dan Paszkowski, president. Removing restrictions would have opened the door to allowing consumers to order wine for direct delivery to their home from any Canadian winery located in any province. We call that direct-to-consumer. It is something 9 out of 10 Canadians believe should be permitted, and we now eagerly await the provinces making this choice available to their citizens. In October 2012, Gerard Cameau of New Brunswick purchased beer and spirits in Quebec and drove back to New Brunswick. He was charged with possessing liquor purchased from outside the province in quantities that exceeded the province's prescribed limit, an offense under Section 134 of the New Brunswick Liquor Control Act. The trial judge held that Section 134(b) of the Liquor Control Act constitutes a trade barrier, violating Section 121 of the Constitution Act, 1867, and dismissed the charge against Mr. Cameau. The case subsequently made its way to the Supreme Court. It's important to recognize that interprovincial trade barriers affect a range of industries, including wine, says Paszkowski. Unfair interprovincial trade barriers have impeded Canada's wine industry growth and prevented consumers from purchasing the Canadian wines of their choice. This morning's ruling is disappointing for our industry. Every wine-producing nation in the world has direct sales within its own country, said Tony Stewart, proprietor. Canada needs to correct this so that we can start to create a level playing field with the rest of the world. Canada's wine industry had seen the ruling as a way to open the doors to direct-to-consumer wine purchases across the country, something consumers believe should be done. Direct-to-consumer would lead to important growth for the country's highest-value agricultural industry. Indeed, free interprovincial trade would positively impact the economy across the country. History research shows that for every $1 spent on Canadian wine in Canada, $3.42 in gross domestic product (GDP) is generated across the country. Monday, April 16, 2018. Video, 2018 Green Medal Award recipients. April 16, 2018, 6:45 a.m. Recipients of the 2018 Green Medal Awards, Bogo Vineyards, St. Sue Perry, KG Vineyard Management, Cake Bread Sellers, were honored at a ceremony at the California State Capitol last Wednesday. 2018 Green Medal Award recipients from Sustainable Wine Growing on Vimeo. Monday, April 2, 2018 Sunset International Wine Competition taking a hiatus. April 2, 2018, 11:04 a.m. Sunset Magazine will not be hosting the Sunset International Wine Competition this year. In an email to wine judges, marketing director Heather Bowden said, "Sunset has gone through a lot of changes in the past few months. A private equity firm in Los Angeles bought Sunset last November, and we are in a phase of reimagining, rebuilding, and strategizing. At this time we've made the difficult decision to take a temporary pause on our international wine competition. Wine is still very much at the core of Sunset. We will continue to highlight it this year and possibly debut a consumer wine experience, and hope to revisit and reimagine a brand new slate of wine programming next year." Thursday, March 29, 2018 by David Fuhrer, March 29, 2018, 10:57 a.m. The first International Volcanic Wine Conference was held at New York City's Metropolitan Pavilion this week. following two staged over the past few years in Sovan, a more domestic platform, and another all-encompassing iteration scheduled next month in Hungary. Master sommelier John Szabo spoke to the standing room-only trade press event joined by DRS George Vujiokolakis and Kevin Pogue. The intention for these conferences are to learn the links between wines and their soil profiles. The unique and singular wines, he exclaimed, recalling the challenging topography volcanic soils typically possess, claiming that many of these vines are phylloxera-free even today. Dirt matters, terroir matters. These wines are different and often particularly good and, like the effects of climate change, cannot be linked to only one type of impact, yet between them possess commonalities. Szabo pointed out that some of these are density and extract from poor, often low pH soils which give a sense of minerality, an amazingly ambiguous term he associates with a sense of salinity, attributable to a range of mineral salts other than merely table salt, sodium chloride. Szabo's book, Volcanic Wines, Salt, Grit and Power, came out last year. Volcanologist Vujiokolakis provided a primer on volcanoes and their rocks, beginning with hot and fluid magma venting to become lava flows and explosions with fragmented magma creating basalt formations. Whitman College geology professor Pogue said iron content in soils can also be transmitted into vines, therefore finding its way into grapes. The afternoon continued with workshops focusing upon Italy's Aglianico. George Vujiokolakis and Yanis Paraskevopoulos, Sov, Roberto Zorzan, Chiara Mattiello, and Lake County's Cabernets, Paul Skinner, Peter Molnar. Left to right, Pogue, Vujiokolakis, Szabo. Wednesday, March 28, 2018. Charles Shaw launches Shaw made with organic grapes. March 28, 2018, 4 p.m. Charles Shaw Winery, producer of Charles Shaw Wines, aka 2 Buck Chuck, launched Charles Shaw wines made with organic grapes. As readers will recall, 2 Buck Chuck has sold many millions of cases. The local Trader Joe's wine guy said they'll arrive in about a week, possibly priced for $3.99. The Shaw organic wines will be available in Cabernet Sauvignon, Pinot Noir, and Rosé, with other varieties to follow. Shaw organic wines will be sealed with Helix, developed by Emery Minoy. Bronco started using Helix with Red Truck. Helix delivers the pop of the cork and is easy to reseal. See shaworganicwine.com. Cheers. Our customers have been asking for more options in the wines made with organic grapes category. We've heard you. We've actually been working on this for quite some time, because grapes are crops and crops take time to cultivate. Bringing more of these options to our shelves doesn't happen overnight. But when it finally does happen, it happens in a big way. Big as in Charles Shaw Big, Monday, March 26, 2018 by Karana Todorov. March 26, 2018, 3 p.m. Ron Rubin is a vintner on a mission, supplying wineries with life-saving portable devices that send electrical shocks through the chest cavity to hearts in distress. Rubin, of Ron Rubin Winery in Green Valley, whose family also owns the Republic of Tea, began distributing free automated external defibrillators to wineries in Sonoma County last fall. Last week, Rubin expanded the program to include wineries in Napa, Solano, Lake, Marin and Mendocino counties. Participating wineries agree to pay the costs of training their employees on how to use the AEDs and how to administer CPR and first aid. The American Red Cross charges $60 per employee for the training, a discounted rate. Rubin's Trained for Saving Lines program initially set out to distribute the $1,700 AEDs at no charge to Sonoma County's 450 wineries. So far, 89 wineries have received the AEDs. All but 2 are in Sonoma County. I think 89 is a pretty good number, Rubin said. Rubin knows firsthand what it is like to have a cardiac emergency. In 2009, Rubin was rushed to Marin General Hospital after Rubin suffered an onset of ventricular tachycardia, a condition that causes the heartbeat faster than normal. Rubin's son, Todd, called 911. Ron Rubin recalled he had run 20 miles the day before to prepare for the Twin Cities Marathon in St. Paul, Min. Rubin was administered shocks in the emergency room. Todd, who is now president of the Republic of Tea, saved his life, Rubin said. An implantable defibrillator was later implanted in his chest. Rubin, who no longer runs marathons, created Trained for Saving Lines to make sure all wineries in Sonoma County have access to an AED. I wanted to give back to Sonoma County, said Rubin, 68. He decided to expand the program to other counties after receiving requests from wineries outside Sonoma County. Rubin has been able to spread the word in part thanks to wine trade associations. The Napa Valley Vintners, for instance, in April planned to inform its members about Rubin's AED program. Mark Miranda, strategic account executive at the American Red Cross, Northern California, Bay Area, said the program was all Ruben's idea. "This is completely unique," Miranda said. He estimated about 300 people have received AED, CPR, first aid training through the program. "He spared no expense," said Miranda, referring to the $1,700 AEDs. Wineries interested in participating in the AED program should contact Ron Rubin at ron@ronrubinwinery.com. Thursday, March 22, 2018. Exploring Rhone Blends at Wivy Central Coast. March 22, 2018, 7:57 a.m. Jake Lorenzo, a.k.a. Lance Cutler, kicks off the Rhone-style blends tasting at the Wivy Central Coast Conference and Trade Show with Carl Boker of Caliza, Joe Barton with Grey Wolf Cellars, and Claire Silver of Tobin James Cellars. For more on how winemakers craft Rhone-style blends, see the January 2018 Wine Business Monthly. Tuesday, March 20, 2018. Tablas Creek founder Robert Haas dies March 20, 2018, 5:53 a.m. Tablas Creek Vineyard partner and founder Robert Haas has passed away, the winery has announced. Haas entered the wine trade in 1950 and founded Tablas Creek Vineyard in Paso Robles in 1989. We will share more information as it becomes available. From the Tablas Creek website, Robert Haas has played a leading role in the American wine industry for over half a century. After graduating from Yale in 1950, he joined his father's firm, M. Lehman, Inc., a retailer of fine wines and spirits in Manhattan. As a buyer for the company and its import arm, Leeds Import Company, Haas traveled through the cellars of France, establishing a formidable reputation as a wine taster while forging lifelong relationships with premier wine producers. In the mid-1960s he set out on his own to import fine estate wines from Burgundy, Bordeaux, the Loire, Alsace and the Rhone Valley, where he met the parents of Château de Beaucastel and became the parents' exclusive American importer. He founded importer Vineyard Brands, through which he introduced the American market to brands such as La Vieille Ferme, Marqués de Caceres, Bourges Port, Jourdain, Alsace's Domaine Weinbach, and Burgundy's Domaine Scouges, Sauzet, Poncet, Mongard Mugnerat, Davasat, Mitreau, Carillon, and Michel among others. The company also served as a representative for newly emerging California wineries in the early 70s, including Chapelet, Freemark Abbey, Clos Duval, Joseph Phelps, Rutherford Hill, Hansel, Kistler, and later Sonoma-Cutrer. He founded the Symposium, Focus on Chardonnay, in 1984 to promote dialogue between producers in Burgundy and California, and he also created the first-ever French-American Rhone Symposium, which was held at the Meadow Wood Club in the Napa Valley in 1990. Haas is one of 4 American members of the Académie Internationale du Vin. In recognition of his contributions to the international wine community as an importer, a vintner, and an advocate for quality, he was elected as the AIV president in 2000. He was recognized by the Paso Robles wine community as 2007 Wine Industry Person of the Year, and in 2014, he received a Lifetime Achievement Award from Rhone Rangers for his contributions to the American Rhone movement. Haas is largely retired but is still a regular presence at Tablas Creek. Tuesday, March 6, 2018. Public debut of Texas Wine Growers by David Fuhrer. March 6, 2018, 2 p.m. A rainy February Tuesday saw the Austin debut of a new organization dedicated to crafting wines made fully from its state's vines, Texas Wine Growers. Despite support from distributors such as Virtuoso and Serendipity, trade turnout for the complimentary afternoon session at Maddie's restaurant amounted to 40, while the evening's paying public turnout of 220 was unexpectedly large, site M. Nager Paula Restera said, calling it an indication that locally sourced, locally made counts with consumers. Both sessions offered current and older vintages, some in verticals of blends or varietals featuring Aglianico, Cabernet Sauvignon, Merlot, Mourvedre, Picpoul, Sangiovese, and Tempranillo. Over a glass of his Viognier, founding member Seth Martin of Parasos Vineyard. Truth in labeling, in that we think Texas wines should be fully Texas fruit, his Viognier, and fellow TWG member Carl Money's Pontotoc Vineyard Tempranillo, recently won double gold at the San Francisco Wine Competition. The Central Texas wineries comprising Texas Wine Growers' current membership and showcasing themselves were Calais Winery, Hawks Shadow Winery, Lewis Wines, Lost Draw Cellars, Parasos, Pontotoc, West Cave Cellars, and William Chris Vineyards. 5 TWG member wineries along with another 9 from throughout Texas presented to the New York area trade November 9th at Manhattan's Rouge Tomate restaurant, marking the Lone Star State's wine producer's first concentrated foray outside its borders. Texas Wine Growers was established early last year as a response to the imprecision of its state's laws pursuant to wine labeling. Later it, along with British Columbia and McLaren Vale, were accepted as the newest members of the joint declaration to protect wine place. Monday, March 5, 2018. Everything is Coming Up Rosés in 2018 by Michael Lasky. March 5, 2018, 10:50 a.m. Long past its tipping point, the sales of rosé have become a category killer in the last year. Manifesting its popularity this year sports two professional rosé wine judging competitions in the U.S. and the creation of a Provence Rosé group to meet the ever-increasing demand for rosé in North America. According to Nielsen, rosé is outpacing overall U.S. wine growth. Although rosé represents a mere 1.5% of the total table wine category, it is growing at a rate unheard of in other categories. This might explain how there can be two wine judging competitions in the U.S. totally devoted to the pink wine. The Rosé Competition 2018 teams up Bob Ecker, founder of the first Rosé competition in 2013, with Sherry Gurman, president of the 11-year-running American Fine Wine Competition. The premier judging will take place on April 10, 2017 in Ft. Lauderdale, Florida. For this event, wineries are asked to submit 4 bottles of each wine, 2 for the judging, 1 to promote the wine at the annual charity gala for 400 guests, and 1 signed bottle for promotion at the gala's charity auction. Wineries interested in submitting entries will find entry forms at https://rebrand.ly/ofcrows. Deadline for entries is March 30, 2018, and the registration fee is $65. The gala will be held May 5, 2018 at Pier 66 in Fort Lauderdale. For more information, contact Sherry Gurman, President, at 561.504.0206 or via email at sherry@afcangala.com or Bob Ecker, Wine Director, at 707.421.1701 or eckerbob@mindspring.com. Coming on the heels of this rosé competition is Experience Rosé, the 2018 competition, launched by Craig Palmer and Alan Habel, co-founders of the former Rosé Today. The judging will commence on April 18, 2018 at Soda Rock Winery in Healdsburg. Entries from any U.S. wineries must be received by April 16, 2018, with each entry of 4 bottles accompanied by a $65 registration fee. For entry forms and instructions, go to www.nfilonline.com. Winning wines will be invited to pour at a new curated event, Experience Rosé, the Great Rosé Pairing of Summer, on June 16, 2018 at the CIA at Copia in Napa. Importer Provence Rosé Group created to increase sales of French rosé, with imported rosé sales doubling in the past 5 years and showing no signs of slowing. The U.S. Importer Provence Rosé Group was created in 2018 to purposefully market it and expand sales of rosé to U.S. consumers. The group, PRG, is a subsidiary of 4 leading Provence rosé estates: Château de Bern, Ultimate Provence, Château des Bertrands and Château Saint-Roux. Though they have a solid foundation for distribution, particularly on the East Coast, Provence Rosé Group is looking to further strengthen its relationships on the West Coast.